Differing opinions. Who's more successful?
Me.
Damn it. Welcome, everybody, to the Work Harder, Not Smarter podcast. Here's the deal. Owning a small business can suck, but by listening to us and playing your cards right, it might just suck a little less. Hey.
How you doing, Colton?
Dude, I'm doing so good.
So you guys have to understand, Colton is a walking disease. Not really, but he's allergic to wheat.
This is what I say. This is what I tell people.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, before I was born, okay, I was up in heaven with God, and it was my turn to come down, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Colton, dude, we're fresh out of bodies, bro. I'm so sorry, but we got."
You can have this
you
used
can
and
have,
bruised
yeah, you
one.
can have. We got a bunch of recycled parts over in that box over there. You can put one together, dude. No joke. My lungs are garbage.
Yep.
My nose is trash.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm pretty sure people already know this dude sounds so nasally. Like
had
absolute garbage.
surgeries and-
Allergic to wheat. Freaking. I weigh like probably 90 pounds. Like it's not good. So God's just like, oh man, yeah. Go over to that recycling bin. And
Grab
pick a
what you
couple
need.
pieces.
That's hilarious. I love it. Well, this is our 5th episode, right?
No, this is our 7th, dog.
Holy mother of pearl.
This is our 7th episode.
No, it's not. Oh, it is. Our yeah.
Number
Holy
7.
crap. Ooh. We've almost made it.
You like that?
8
we're
will be
there.
eight will be that
Oh,
curve, bro.
shoot.
Oh my. Wow. That's fun.
Isn't that awesome?
Number 7.
Number 7. Statistically, remember.
Yep.
8
Eight is the
is
turning
when
point.
people stop.
Yep. We're not stopping.
Oh,
I've
absolutely
invested
not.
way too much money in this.
You've invested way too much great knowledge for
Well,
great
yeah,
value for people to learn and to
to keep growing and
exactly.
be successful, hopefully. I cannot wait, and I'm very excited for the first person that emails us or whatever the situation gets in contact with us to say, you really helped me.
Like when that happens, obviously we'd ask the person who sent it in, but I'd love to read some of those comments.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yeah,
On
I
the
think it would be
podcast.
important. So we are actually working on getting our video up, so
Yeah.
you guys can kind of watch as we talk and
So you can see
See
that I
us.
am a walking
very-
disease.
And I'm not as fat as Colton's making me sound. Just kidding. I'm kinda
If Santa
chunky.
Claus was bald, you'd fit the role great.
That was rude, bro. No.
Holy. Have you had a good... It's almost Christmas.
It is, man.
It's almost the holidays.
Yep, I need to go out with my kids. My 2 girls want to get my wife something nice. My son already has, I think. But my 2 girls want to get my wife something nice, so we're going to go out today and get her stocking stuff and
Yeah.
buy her one more gift for the
Nice,
girls.
dude.
So.
I bought my wife, get this, she loves Pebble Ice.
Mm-hmm.
I bought her a freaking Pebble Ice maker. I had to sell one of my kidneys,
Oh, well,
to
yeah,
afford
those
the
are not
payments.
cheap.
Yeah. Payment us $200 a month for the next 16 years, but it's fine. Dude, but I think she'll like it.
Yeah,
she'll
Pebble
be
Ice is the
excited.
best. It melts kind of quick, but other than that, like it's fun to chew on. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not this
She
gigantic
loves
block
it,
of
man.
ice. Yeah,
I'm
it's
weird, though. I'm cubed ice, hands
Really?
down. Oh, yeah. When I go to Maverick,
Yeah.
and I get like a soda,
Yeah,
dude,
really,
cubed ice all the way home.
dude. I'd rather go with that Pebble Ice for sure.
Differing opinions. Who's more successful?
Me.
Damn it. I was thinking it would be interesting to talk about kind of like, when do you give up? I feel like that is an interesting... What? You don't ever give up during like a business? And
So, I don't want to. You never
you never give up,
quote
right?
unquote give up,
But
there are times to walk away. This is kind of rough.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good one.
It's
I
a
like
good
this,
one.
which is good.
So we're in a predicament right now in our business, right?
Yes.
We have a portion of the business that we've been trying to work on and grow for multiple years. And
Well, it was the first like business that your business partner really
started. So last year wasn't so good. Me and my business partner got together, sat down and said, well, let's give it another year or two, see kind of where we're at, see what's going on. And we'll run the numbers and make a decision. What a flop.
By the way, this is the business that I manage.
Yeah.
So that has
so Colton's
to be,
out of a job. No, we already have Colton taken care of. But last year was dismal, I'll be honest. I think we made like $30,000 in like 4 or 5 months. Like, it was not great.
Oof.
It was, and the manpower and the energy we spent, it was the worst. But
that was the first year that I was like in charge, and I wanted to
kind of prove yourself, right? Like,
well, yeah, but probably went home every night, cried in the shower for at least 4 hours. It was so stressful. So much work was going into it.
yeah,
And for 30 G's.
yeah, it was not. I mean, the energy, literally, how many employees we had, even this year, like, dude, we went over the numbers. Colton brought them up to me. You and I went over the actual what we could have produced in the other company if we would have put the effort toward that. And it was 5 times. I think 5 times. I think it was 5 times the profit we would have made if we would have put not even the same energy, just the same amount of people that we had in this company toward the other. We would have made 5 times. So we've decided to sell that company. It's just, again, we're not giving up. We're just moving onward, right? Upward and onward. This business, we made okay money, but again, if we would have put the same effort toward the other business with these employees, 5 times the profit.
Yeah.
Dude, it just makes no sense for us anymore. There are smaller businesses that the amount that we made this year is fairly life-changing for them, but for our size, for our energy, for our efforts, for everything that we have and how big we are, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's, and I guess the quote unquote giving up part, you have to understand your business. I think it was last episode that we went over knowing your numbers.
Yep.
And dude, if you don't know your numbers, you're going to be stuck grinding at crap like that and not making your full potential. I mean, for easy numbers, okay? You profit $50,000 after your $60,000 salary as an owner. You're a fairly new business, so 60 grand's not bad. You profit $50K, you put half of it away for next year's growth opportunities, blah, blah, blah. So you walk away with roughly $85,000. You're thinking, dude, I'm high on life, right? But another opportunity comes up that's way better, but you're comfortable in what you're doing. If you don't know your numbers and you don't understand what the next opportunity could be, and you could potentially double or triple, dude. And honestly, true. I think a lot of people in a new business do that a lot because that's where they started. Yeah. That's where they're comfortable. That's what they loved, and that's where they got their start, right? Like so it's very important. I don't want to say give up because I don't think you're giving up. I think you're understanding your potential and you're moving on.
It's like the whole thing where what you've done in the past won't get you to where you want to go. The whole idea, like this business was amazing and got you to the point of where it's not the most profitable thing that you could be doing. It was great at the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
It got you to that point. But what you're doing now, or what you've done in the past, isn't going to get you to where you want to go. As a business owner, you're constantly having to pivot and change and
you have to
grow. And
the markets are constantly changing. Yeah. Every year there's something out there that's better or different. And I'm not saying change your business every year because that would be stupid. Yeah. You need to build a brand and you need to stick with that. What I'm saying is don't get stuck on one product. Don't get stuck on one way of doing things. Don't get stuck on just being flat the rest of your career because that's what you know. I mean, look at us. Dude, we've gone through multiple manufacturers of decking. We've gone through...
That's true. In the past, 3 years that I've worked here, I think it's been 3 times. Three.
And I think we've settled on probably the best one. Yeah. I'm very insanely happy with our price points and everything about it. But you have to be able to be a chameleon, right? You have to change, man. You have to look at what's hot, what's going to be hot, where you're going, like what the new products are. Trade shows are good to always go look at, to research. Google's another good one. Like there are certain areas in the country that start with certain products, and if you can figure out what is actually working, that will eventually come to your state next. So there's a plethora of information out there.
How do you do that?
So, okay, so for instance, California, right? They're basically the fashion moguls, that in New York, I guess, right? So when I was in high school, in California, they started wearing shoelaces as belts. And just some skaters just started doing it, and then manufacturers jumped on it and started making shoelace belts. They got huge, dude. I'm serious.
What?
They got huge for a while, and they eventually came to where we live, and they got big, and then they went out of style, of course. But it happened. Like so, and that's obviously fashion, not construction. But I mean, but you just have to figure out where your market starts and like who basically sets the industry standard for that year or two, and start getting ahead of it. Because if you can research it and you can start figuring out how to utilize it in your business and integrate it into the work you do, you're going to be that far ahead. Yeah. The second that stuff starts getting freaking like trendy and you're offering it and everyone else is trying to scramble to find manufacturers and stuff like that, the better off you're going to be, I promise.
That's true.
It'll jump your business up. It'll make you one of the premier builders or whatever you're doing. And again, every year the markets are changing. For instance, we know a person in the lighting industry, and he invests millions and millions of dollars in lights every year. Okay, before LED was super in, it was incandescent.
Terrible. Terrible.
Incandescent bulbs are they're crap. I'll be honest.
Garbage product.
But he bought multiple $1 million in the bulbs. He's still sitting on $1.2 million
freaking way.
in incandescent bulbs because he didn't look at the markets and the way they were swaying. So he's got $1.2 million in his warehouse that he'll most likely never get completely gone. He might sell some here and there, 30, 40 grand a year, whatever, but there is no way on this good green earth we're ever going back to incandescent. So because he didn't do his research and he just overbought, he got jacked.
That's crazy.
And in a business, $1.2 million of your profit to try and reinvest and double, dude, that's a huge loss. That's multiple years of catching up to make that back. So, I would say 2 to 3 years for sure, things change drastically in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different markets, and a lot of different businesses. So
how do you stay on, like, do you have specific tactics or whatever to stay on top of that?
No,
you simply just Google, look at the news, like how do you?
We've been in the industry for a very, very long time. This is our 16th year in business. I've said it over and over. We have really good contacts. We buy our products direct from manufacturers. So we talk with a lot of different people in the industry that are like on top of it. The manufacturers always know because they spend millions of dollars in research every year figuring out what's going to be the next hot thing.
So you're not doing you're not.
No,
paying
I'm
money
not
for the
necessarily
research.
doing it.
You're asking people.
I ask people. I talk to them. We get the information, and they give us that information. They have to because we're their top buyers for the most part, and they want us to be successful because if we're successful, they're successful. So it helps to talk to people in the industry. Not people like you necessarily, because people
like competition is what you're trying to say?
And friends that are kind of doing the same type of thing. You want to talk directly to your manufacturers, to your distributors, because they're the ones that spend millions of dollars on that crap. They have to know what the next fad is, or they're going to lose, like my friend did. It's for them, it's totally worth the millions and millions of dollars of research. They're happy to give you that information because, like I said, if I'm successful, they're successful. If I sell more, they make more. So do your research.
Interesting.
Talk to people, not normal people. Talk to people that are selling this stuff, that the bigger companies, because they're more than happy to give you that information.
Habits that you have as a successful business owner.
Okay, so my habits have changed drastically over the last
from
5 years.
To what?
So before I was hiring GMs and stuff like that, 2 years before me and my business partner got partnered, so 5 years ago, I hired my first GM to basically run my businesses.
11 years before that, you were like...
Dude, I was in the grind every day.
I was
everything.
Running
I was
the whole thing.
Bidding. I was installing. I was catching up. I was paying bills. I was trying to do my own. No, well, I was doing my own accounting for the first multiple years, but yeah, I was doing a lot in the business, a lot. And after that, I realized I can't do this all. I cannot grow this company how I want to. I cannot do what I want to. So hired GM, got him going. It was time, like, for real. I was beaten. I was torn up. It was mentally,
11
physically.
years is a long time,
Dude,
homie.
To take all of that on, to be responsible for everything.
Like, busy every second of every day.
And I'd go home and work, and like it caused problems. Like, it wasn't good. So it's a necessary evil, I think. At least for my path and the way I wanted to grow, it was what I felt was right and that I had to do.
Well, nothing that's worth anything comes for free.
Comes
right?
easy. Yeah. So if I would have hired a GM after my third or fourth year, it would have been easier, but there's no way I would have had the money to grow the way I did, to reinvest in the company, to eventually save up enough for a down payment for the 2 buildings, to build those buildings, to get another business started and running and getting that profit from that business. And so, again, like in last episode, I did things a lot differently than a lot of people do.
Yeah. So after you hired your GM, you'd get lazy
But it's not like I was ducking work. Mm-hmm. There just wasn't much for me to do after that, which, again, it was so nice. It left me open, at least my mental capacity open, to think about how to expand, what the next big idea was, how to make a little extra money to pay my employees a little bit more. Dude, it was so life-changing because a lot, and I'm not going to say all the stress because it didn't, but a lot of the stress did melt off. Like, it was just gone. A weight off my shoulders. Like, nice. It allowed me to continue building. And, dude, we just started making more and more money and more and more money. And I was able to look at the business from an outside perspective and see where my inefficiencies were, to see what was irritating to employees. I mean, well, for instance, we were doing windows and doors. We all hated windows and doors. After Ben started taking over as my GM, I was able to look at that and be like, dude, why are we doing this? Like, we made good money at it, but I was like, dude, everyone hates doing this.
so bad.
And that's when we made the transition. Yeah. Well, let's start doing more decks. Let's start doing more construction stuff. Let's start doing different things and kind of kick that out. And we were able to do that because I had the ability to step back and look and say, yeah, there's some changes that need to be made to be more profitable, do the things that make us more money, make my employees super duper happy, give them the benefits they want. Like, it opened up a huge opportunity for me.
You were still kind of small, and hiring that GM, did that take up a lot of your profit to where...
At the beginning, yes, but I knew I had to do it at that time for me to keep progressing. So when I hired my GM, we were still renting an office, and I had bought the 2 lots next to each other to start building the buildings. There was no way on this good green earth I could have still been running everything without a GM and built the buildings. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way we would have had those buildings and expanded the business as much as we did without a GM. So I was willing to take that hit because that was our next step. That was our next big aha moment. And it worked out beautifully. For us, I knew that was the moment I had to have someone running the business that I could trust and that could do it, that was totally capable of doing it, versus me doing it because I had to, dude, I had so much to do at that job site. I was there every day. I was busting my butt. I did a lot of the work because we just didn't have the money to pay all these subs for the trades that I didn't know how to do and I wasn't licensed for. I had to sub out. But basically for everything else, I did all the interior framing. Again, the GM was absolutely necessary.
So what would you recommend to a small business owner who's been doing the grind for 10 years but doesn't have the profit to hire a GM?
I would look at your books. Again, it's all about numbers, man. If after 10 years you're not making a good enough profit to hire a GM to allow you to continue to grow the business, you're probably doing something wrong. Hire the right GM, dude. I really think it'll take for a majority of people,
stress off your
dude,
plate.
a ton. It'll give you the opportunity to grow and expand and move on. And if you're not able to do something right or you're not very good at it, you better realize pretty damn quick and make some changes, because if you don't, you're going to be stuck in this grind for the rest of your career. And if you don't have enough profit to pay somebody, there's no way you're going to retire.
Yeah. You're going to be an employee in your own business.
Correct. Forever. Dude, you're going to be one of those 70-year-olds laying bricks, bro.
Dude.
Like, oof. Figure out your strengths. Figure out your weaknesses. Hire people to take on your weaknesses.
In episode 2, we talked about how to retain employees like that, right?
Yep.
So if any of you haven't listened to episode 2, go and give it a listen
very
because
good
it's
one,
very valuable information in that one, for sure. You see all these freaking successful people who, like, wake up at, 5 a.m. and get to the gym. And tell me your thoughts about that. What?
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Okay.
Let's hear that.
And everyone's different, right? I personally... I
Say it, dude. Just say it.
I don't...
Just say it.
I think that kind of crap is a waste of time. I'm not going to lie, man. At least for me personally, okay? And I'll tell you why. I've always had a very good business sense. Even when I was young, I would buy toys that were popular and mark them up and sell them to people in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. Like, I never I never thought it was needed to go to the gym at 5 a.m. and
You're the dude who's asleep at 5 a.m.
Dude,
enjoying.
I'm not gonna wake my lazy butt up to freaking do that crap. Like, I don't feel like I have to wake up early to go to the gym and do all this crap and read all these books and there's nothing wrong with reading books, but I think there comes a point where it's more destructive than helpful. And I'll tell you why. Books, everyone has their own opinion. There's a lot of successful people out there that got successful from doing things completely different because it worked for them, their personalities, their businesses. I've seen multiple of my friends around me that have tried to get successful by reading book after book after book after book from quote-unquote successful people. I guess what I'm saying is, if you continue to read book after book after book with multiple different opinions, you're going to get confused as crap. You are not going to know what direction to go. You're going to have 50 different ways and confuse the crap out of yourself. And I've seen it over and over and over.
Really?
Like, it's not a good thing. Reading, learning, knowledge is good. Again, college I don't think is worth it for a majority. Okay? I think that books are the same thing. I think reading is great. I think it's wonderful if it can take your mind on adventures and different things like that, learning specific things. But I don't think it should be a quote-unquote mentorship. I think it confuses the hell out of people. I really, truly. If you read the same crap in 50 different books, in 50 different people's opinions, you're going to be like, well, what should I do? You're going to be more confused after than you were before. Learn your own way. If you find somebody that has the same thoughts and feelings, read their book. Stop after that. You don't have to read 50 other people's books to tell you how to live your life. Live your own damn life. I've never understood that. I've seen successful people become not successful because they get so caught up in reading all these freaking clowns' books that show them 10,000 ways to live. And they get confused. And then they start making decisions not based on what they feel and not based on how they want to go, but based on these other clowns' thoughts and feelings. It's not true to yourself. How are you going to implement that into your life if that's not what you want to do? I don't get it. So, again, reading is great. School is great for majority of people. I think reading mentorship books is a mistake. I do.
I freaking love it. I freaking love that you said that because it shows that there's not like a single way you have to live to become successful.
There is no right answer for everybody. There isn't. Everybody has to learn their own ways. And I'm not yelling. I'm really passionate about this part because
he's screaming at me.
Yeah. Because there are so many people that don't trust themselves. They don't trust their feelings. They don't trust what they know to be right. And it boggles my mind, dude. Just trust yourself. And if it doesn't work, change something. But don't read 50,000 books that are just going to freak your mind out and totally and utterly confuse you. I've seen way too many people fail because of that. One of my friends from quite a while ago, I haven't talked to him in a little while. I should probably call him. But he was the same way. He was quite successful, started reading a ton of books, quit his job.
These are like self-help books, right?
Yeah.
These aren't like The Hobbit.
No, these.
Like, The Hobbit is ruining your business.
These are wealthy people that write books on what made them successful, which is great.
Like
but
the 5-Minute Millionaire, stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But you can't take what made them successful and put it into your life if your direction, thoughts, and feelings don't align.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're doing what they did because that's what made them successful, not you.
Mm-hmm.
And you might get lucky and you might pick up one book, read it, and be like, oh yeah, and it works. And that's totally good. But you have to make sure that everything works. And you can't read so much that you're just like, I don't know what to do because everyone does it a little bit differently. How should I do this? Trust yourself. Truly. I think the very successful people had some kind of mentorship, but they had like a controlled mentorship, I guess, is how I would look at it. I don't believe they read 50,000 other people's books. I think they had their own direction, got confirmation from an outside source, and ran with it. I don't think they asked 10,000 people's advice. I really don't. That's my feeling. I don't know how other people feel.
Get back to the story of your friend. You're saying that you never finished that story. So your friend,
'cause you cut me off again.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So my friend, he was quite successful. He had a really good job. He was making, I think it was like $150,000 a year. He was quite successful in that career path. He started reading books and book after book after book about, being an entrepreneur and going and doing this and that and how to get there and how to do it. And he quit to try and be an entrepreneur. Guess what happened? He didn't know how the hell to do it because he read too many books, because he was so confused. He was trying to put other people's plans into place that weren't aligning with who he was, and it just didn't work out. So he had to go back and find another job. And thankfully he has the skills to get another good job. But the point in all this is he bounced around from job to job to job to job because he didn't know what his direction was. He was so confused after reading so many books and so many directional ways of doing things that he genuinely had no idea what to think for himself and how to do it. And I think even to this day, he's still kind of bouncing around because he hasn't found what works for him, because he's still trying to do what other people have done, other successful people have done.
Well, he reads one book and it says one thing, and then he reads another book that might
be
contradict.
completely different or opposite. And so I think reading is important. I don't think overreading and reading 10 successful people's businesses like books is important. I don't think that's good. I think it's more confusing. I think it's very detrimental.
Interesting.
Truly and honestly. Awesome. And I've seen it over and over and over and over.
Because I guarantee you there are people out there who see these successful people and are like, well, I have to do this to be successful, but it's not something that works for them, and they're trying day after day to make it work, and it's just not working.
Well, and can you imagine after they try that for a month and they're still not successful, they're like, well, I'm doing everything he did. Why am I not successful? And then they're going to start getting depressed and they're going to give up. Because of that, you have to stay true to who you are and what helps you personally. Just because it works for one person does not mean it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
If that's not the way your mind and body work, don't freaking do it. You're setting yourself up for a complete and utter failure.
Yep.
It's stupid. Again, if it aligns with who you are, do it. Read those books. But don't read so many that you get utterly confused and just give up on your hopes and dreams. And again, a book here and there, absolutely. It can open up your mind. It can give you a different perspective. It can help you understand certain things that you may not be good at.
Yeah.
I'm 100% okay with that.
But they're a scam. Books are a scam.
Yeah. Aaron's like, well, you're so anti-school, you're so anti-learning, but you say it's good to learn. No, that's not the truth. There are certain things and certain ways that you should be doing things that will make you successful, and there are things that are going to only hurt you and harm you. It's just a matter of doing it right, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Because maybe there's people that think exactly like me, and this will help them get clarity, and it'll give them the confidence to just push forward and do what they feel is right.
It's a great contrast because all the podcasts I've listened to, it's the same message. Wake up at 5 a.m.
Always.
Exercise. And that may work for some people, but
I would bet to say majority don't want to do that crap. I'll be honest.
I don't think anybody wants to do
Listen,
that crap.
I'm not a fat person. I'm not.
Well.
I'm not. I'm not overweight. I'm fairly healthy. I like going out. I like camping. I like fishing. I like being outdoors. I'm not saying I'm a lazy person. I'm just saying I don't think you have to do all that crap to be successful. I don't think. I know. You don't have to do that to be successful.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to?
I don't think so. I think we again, like, we really appreciate everyone who's listening.
For sure.
We just set up a Buy Me a Coffee account, so we'd love for you guys to, if you really enjoy the episodes, support us. Go ahead and leave us a comment if you'd like. We'd read it on the podcast.
Yep. Any topics you want us to hit on? If you're having personal issues or problems in your business, have any specific questions about some whatever you have going on, we're happy to hit on those and help you guys out with specific things just for you, because if you're having those issues, it's a guarantee there's somebody else out there having those issues.
And Witt's had them. Witt's had all the issues.
He's
had all the issues.
I still have a lot of issues.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We're really excited to keep bringing you more awesome content.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.